Ladies and gentlemen, we're obviously delighted to welcome you here to this press conference, to this 33rd edition of the SOMMET DE L'ÉLEVAGE. And we're here in the Sally room, here at the Ministry of Agriculture. We're here with Madame Aristunkalova, who's the ambassador for Kazakhstan. And as Kazakhstan is the guest of honor this year. Also Jacques Chazelet, president of the SOMMET DE L'ÉLEVAGE. And also welcome to the other speakers. For this third time that we've been here in the Ministry of Agriculture for this conference de presse. So obviously we're very proud to be here, and so thank you to the Minister himself and also his team. So there are many of you, so thank you for coming, and also there are lots of you also online.
Tous nos connectés à distance. Il faut savoir qu'on a plus de 90 pays qui sont représentés.
Over 90 countries represented and over 1,000 people connected at this very moment in time. So thank you to the technical team for the support that you provide. And obviously, a show of this size obviously is very much geared towards the international. So we're going to talk about the highlights, we're going to talk about the novelties for this year and everything that's been put in place, the digital improvements to improve the visitors' experience. So this press conference will also be a time to highlight the 70 breeds that will be on show at the Sommet, and particularly the Salers breed. We will also talk about sustainable farming. And Sommet, as you know, is the world's #1 sustainable farming show. And we will then finish with a presentation about farm machinery sales and the situation here in France and in Europe. So I'm now going to let Jacques Chazelet welcome you. So thank you.
Bonjour à tous.
Welcome to you all.
Vous avez présenté l'essentiel.
So thank you very much. You've already said a lot. I just want to thank once again the Minister of Agriculture
de nous mettre à disposition
to make available this wonderful room. Also to thank the ambassador for Kazakhstan to France. And obviously it's very important for us to have a country like yours as the guest of honor. It represents for us an important element in our global strategy. And it's not just our decision to invite you. It's also part of a geopolitical decision, and I was able to accompany the President of the Republic, Monsieur Macron, later last year to a visit to Kazakhstan. It's very important that we encourage countries like yours to come to our show, and it is a great pleasure for us to invite you as our guest of honor. And it's not just from an economic point of view that it's important that we are looked to create the links with your country, but also from a point of view of the geopolitical position. So just to remind you that Kazakhstan is 5 times the size of France. So you can just imagine the landscape that is available for farming. So the Sommet de L'Élevage, as you know, is a business affairs forum. It's also a political forum. Bruno is going to talk about pastoralism, and Victor is going to talk about the digital improvements that we've carried out for this year's show. And there's also going to talk about a few of the competitions that go on during the 4 days of the show. And for the exhibitors, obviously, the key events that are happening.
Donc voilà, le sommet d'élevage.
So the Sommet d'Élevage continues to evolve and progress. So we occupy a large area at Clermont-Ferrand, just outside Clermont-Ferrand showground. We're very hopeful and confident for the future. We will have a presentation from the director of AXEMA, who represents a large part of the exhibitors, and they are part of the farm machinery sector. And he's going to explain to us why the SOMMET is an important event for farm machinery manufacturers and also from a global point of view too. So once again, thank you, and we're available to answer any questions. Would you like to add anything? So thank you very much. Hello, welcome, and thank you. Good morning. It's a lovely room here in the Ministry of Agriculture. Those here, and also for those further afar, in front of your computer screens. So, first of all, I want to thank, in the name of the Republic of Kazakhstan, I want to thank the Ministry of Agriculture and our partners, French partners, and also, in particular, Mr. Chazelet, who's president of the SOMMET DE L'ÉLEVAGE. It's for us, obviously, a great honor and a great opportunity for us too to present the potential, farm potential of my country. And also interesting, perhaps for France and other partners in Europe and beyond, to see the size of Central Asia and the size of my country, which is an enormous potential for you from an exporting point of view. So our participation as a guest of honor and also replies to reciprocal interests, both yours and ours. So we hope that we're up with and match your expectations from us. So thank you very much. So thank you for that. So we'll have various opportunities for questions. There's a chat toggle, so please use the chat toggle to ask any questions if you're online, and we will pass them on to the speakers. So, first of all, we're going to start with Fabrice Berton. He's the general manager of the show, and I imagine you're fairly happy. So, for this 33rd show. So, yes. So, in a context that is perhaps difficult, especially in farm machinery point of view, but once again, the SOMMET will be beating another record in the number of visitors, with over 1,700 exhibitors, and we're already booked up as far as stand space is concerned.
En attente peut-être pour des prochaines éditions un certain nombre d'exposants, notamment.
So we haven't been able to house everybody, and certain exhibitors, certainly from overseas, we haven't been able to find them a space for this year, but hopefully they will be able to find a stand for them for next year.
Comme on dit, il vaut mieux vivre ça que l'inverse. Voilà, donc nouveau record. Et puis.
So once again, a new record, and this is, as I said, a 33rd edition. So to give you a bit of an idea, so we'll give you a few figures, the key figures here. So the first edition was in. So we had 3,000 square meters of net stand space. This year it'll be 97,000 square meters of stand space. So in 33 years, we've always continued to progress. We've already increased the size from year on year, every year.
et nous inscrivons dans le temps. Donc, nous
and
sommes,
we are always present,
dans un contexte difficile.
and we're obviously delighted, even though we're in a fairly difficult context, that for the exhibitors it's an essential part of their business activity. We have various highlights. We've obviously already about the Salaire National Championships that will be held at the show this year. So, as well as the 70 breeds that were present at the show, so the Salaires, as we said, so the representatives of the breed are here at the show and will be talking to you later. So, and your country in Kazakhstan have already imported a number of Salaire cattle. So, as well, also the Simmental European Championships as well. But I just want to say that outside these two championships, there's 70 breeds that were present at the show, and it's the genetics that we're able to highlight with over 2,000 animals that will be on show and present during the 4 days of the Sommet. And so it's a complete offer that we're able to put in place to farmers of all types of breeds and people who are interested in the various breeds, livestock breeds that we find throughout the world.
Le nôtre est assez restrictif, car suivant les années, il y a entre 8 et 12 gagnants simplement.
So Jack talked about the Sommet d'Or. So it's a selection fairly stringent because there are only between 8 and 12 award winners every year. This is for innovation in farm products and farm services. This is held every year and it's open to exhibitors only. So every year we have more and more exhibitors who apply to qualify for the Sommet d'Or competition, to be judged on the innovative products and services that they are putting available and making available to farmers and growers in France and elsewhere. 140 conferences, roughly the same number as last year. New energies is obviously in full progression, full growth. Various other themes that we'll be talking about in the conferences too. Don't forget either in Sommet's DNA, it's also, for us, it's an event, a fun event, a social event for farmers to get together and to exchange, to talk and discuss.
C'est-à-dire quand je vous dis le comice agricole, pour peut-être, ça fait, comment j'allais dire, référence à des événements traditionnels qui existent dans nos régions.
It's a reference for our farmers in our region, in the Massif Central, the Auvergne. And we are very much coordinated with our period, with our time, which is why we have opened to new technologies, new energies. And so for us, we are persuaded that we are convinced that we are efficient and that we've put an offer, made an offer available for visitors to the show that replies to all their expectations. And there's also the Young Farmers Evening in the Zénith d'Auvergne Concert Hall that usually welcomes between 5,000 and 6,000 young people looking for a fun evening, and many from outside farming. And also exhibitors too, they're able to lay on an evening. They lay on evenings for their visitors and their clients too.
Du 1er au 4 octobre. Vous pouvez partager quelques chiffres? Est-ce qu'il y en a
So we'll talk about a few figures, I think, as well. A few figures that we'll go through. So 97,000 square meters. 1,650 exhibitors from 30 countries. 120,000 visitors expected. And we're expecting between 5,000 and 10,000 visitors from over 90 countries.
avec ce chiffre-là, positionne le sommet comme l'un des principaux événements en Europe sur la qualité et la quantité de présentation des animaux.
Merci justement pour cette transition.
So thank you very much for that.
Avec Benoît Delalloy, responsable
We're now going to
international du
talk
sommet,
to Benoît Delalloy
cette dimension internationale
about the
qui est
international
évidemment
angle
présente, elle s'affirme,
of the Sommet
et elle
d'Élevage.
se décline comment pendant le sommet?
And how does that work out, Benoît? Good morning.
Donc elle se décline de deux façons, hein, puisque
So how is that? How does the Sommet?
il y a deux équipes, il y a des exposants.
How does the Sommet work out from an international plan?
Des exposants.
So as far as the exhibitors are concerned, and Fabrice said,
300 exposants étrangers.
so we've got 300 foreign exhibitors from 30 countries.
Malheureusement, on doit en refuser aussi.
Unfortunately, we've had to refuse stands to several of them because we just don't have the space. We don't have the ability to welcome everybody. There's such demand.
La très grande majorité d'entre eux.
So the majority come, a majority of them are from just countries close to France in Europe.
Côté visiteurs, donc bon, ça,
as far as visitors are concerned,
puisqu'on avait accueilli 5000 visiteurs étrangers.
Last year we had 5,000 foreign visitors from over 90 countries. We'll see for this year. We don't know yet. We can't. We haven't set a limit nor a ceiling.
Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on fait pour ces visiteurs?
So what do we do for these visitors?
On sait que c'est parfois un petit peu compliqué de venir jusqu'à Clermont.
So we accept the fact that it's fairly complicated to get to Clermont-Ferrand. It's not the easiest place to get to. So we do everything we can to welcome them as warmly as we possibly can.
On leur offre l'entrée gratuite au
So obviously they can come to the show as a free entrance for all foreign visitors.
On appelle un club international.
We also have an international lounge in the Zénith d'Auvergne concert just outside the concert hall, and that's only for foreign delegations, and they the catering, and we can organize and lay on things for them. There are free shuttle buses into town, the hotels.
Et puis ensuite, la vraie plus-value du sommet de l'élevage, c'est notre programme de terrain.
Added value for foreign visitors is the farm visits that we lay on for our foreign visitors. So within half an hour, 40 minutes in the bus, we are able to visit cattle, sheep units, abattoirs, biogas units. So that's very much appreciated by visitors. And that's over 1,000 people who participate in these farm visits.
Donc les visites de terrain, donc très appréciées. Ensuite, on organise aussi une... non, c'était pas celle-là. Ou celle d'avant peut-être. Là où il y a tous les chiffres. On organise également en collaboration avec
France Génétique,
ce qu'on appelle la grande soirée internationale de l'élevage.
With France Génétique, in partnership, we have the international evening on the Wednesday evening, and it's a fun evening where we present all of the French breeds, cattle, sheep, goats, horses, with simultaneous English translation.
Et ensuite, on offre un cocktail dînatoire à l'ensemble des...
Followed by a buffet.
Bien chouchouté ces
voilà,
clients internationaux.
So they're well looked after, your foreign visitors, and also the guest of honor. And this year, Kazakhstan, of course. And this is something we have done for the last 10 years, having a guest of honor. It's important for us. It allows us to highlight a country, highlight its potential. And Kazakhstan, in this case, is a country with vast pastures, very similar to the Massif Central. So it's a lot of similarities between your country and our region. So enormous opportunities for us and also for you. And also geopolitically, very interesting, strategically placed country between Russia and China. And so for us, it's important for us to optimize the business deals that we have between your country and us.
Du travail, voilà. Donc on est fiers de pouvoir agir à ce niveau-là.
So we're proud to act on this international angle.
Le sommet, c'est évidemment une année complète d'organisation.
The Sommet is also a whole year of organization just for the 4 days. So thousands of hours of work just for 4 days.
Et donc c'est posé, de manière très judicieuse d'ailleurs et pertinente. Comment fait-on pour optimiser déjà ces 4 jours?
So how do we optimize those 4 days? Because 4 days go past very quickly. So we have today with us Victor Berton, who is the development manager. And
comment ça fonctionne cette année?
So the first thing, so every year we ask ourselves, what can we do? What do we do well? What could we do better? And we try to reinforce what we do well and try to improve what we do less well. So once again, we're going to renew all of the solutions that we had in the last year with meetings, online meetings, and exhibitors that much appreciate as also the visitors. But for us, we're looking to optimize visitors' time. It is so big. 22 hectares of of showground. It's difficult to optimize visitors' time. So what we've done this year is to improve the possibility of visitors to optimize their time. It's also coming to the show. And the first thing, and we accept the fact that getting into the show with a number of vehicles that want to get into the show every day, what we're trying to do this year, what we've done this year, is to put in place a carpooling operation. And so it's possible to pick up people who are looking to come to the show, so with the idea of reducing the number of vehicles that are coming into the show. And also another problem is accommodation. And it's obviously an international show, and perhaps maybe we lack bed space. And so we've put in place a platform where we've negotiated the prices and rates with hotels, and we've got the best possible prices, and we can say we're even below Booking, as far Booking.com, as far as the rates are concerned, because we've negotiated directly with the hotels. We also have a geo-positioning. As I've said, there are 22 hectares of total showground, and sometimes visitors can get a bit lost, and so we put in place, as part of the application, a geo-positioning option so that people can identify where they are and can factor in where they want to go, which exhibitor they want to go and see, or which judging competition they want to go and watch, and it will allow them to follow an itinerary to get to where they want to do. And the next thing is that we are very proud to show you, this is the first time in artificial intelligence that's dedicated to farmers. So we're going to enrich this. All of the data and various other things will allow the visitor to optimize their time. So the visitor puts in their criteria, the types of things and sectors that interest them, and the artificial intelligence will suggest things that might well be of interest, either judging, conferences, exhibitors, demonstrations at any one time, and so they can let the artificial intelligence guide them, literally, to optimize their time at the show. So you factor in your put in a question, and you can optimize your time. Next, we have a very strong media event. There's a lot of live events going on. We've got the cattle, the beef and the milk judging. There's also the TV set. We now have a digital TV set. So all of these live events going on. So how do we broadcast what's going on? I mean, there's so many things going on at any one time. And so a lot of people who, even though they're 120,000 who come to the show, they're far more. They're unable to come, but they want to be able to visit in inverted commas, the show and optimize the highlights of the show. And so we have a dedicated channel purely that concentrates all of the main highlights of the events, live events that are going on. And we see now on this slide the various small TV sets.
Ce qui est quand même assez incroyable, c'est qu'on arrive à finalement connecter d'un côté.
So what's extraordinary is that it's even really very technical, and to get all of the input, live input going in, and you're able to produce one summary channel. So these 4 days are optimized, but of course it's something that we're looking to build for over the whole year. In other words, letting farmers connect with other farmers, farmers connecting with exhibitors, and exhibitors to make contacts with other exhibitors and other trade organizers. So how do we do this? It's a trade community. Okay, we get together for 4 days, but okay, physically we get together for 4 days, but how do we do that for 365 days? So we're able to do that from a digital, and we do 3 main axes. So it's first of all a business forum, it's also a media forum, and a lot of journalists, as we know, and it's also a social event, and it's a place for farmers to come to meet, to discuss. So what we've done is we've created something called the comptoir des éleveurs. It's difficult to put into English. It's basically a livestock farmers forum, to be quite simple. So if they want, exhibitors can put online their products and their services. They put on through our platform their products and services for sale throughout the year to people who connect onto our website. And also, so it's really sort of an Amazon for farmers, the marketplace. It's also a media event, as we said. It's also, again, a media platform, so for journalists and others can connect and see what's going on. And we've finally a sort of a LinkedIn of farmers that allows farmers to connect with other farmers in the same sector or in different sectors. They want a bit of information or a bit of help on something, have a problem. They can connect with other farmers and ask them the question, what happens I have a problem with this, what can you suggest I should do? And this is obviously an extraordinary tool that we've been able to put in place.
On va s'associer avec les grands groupes de presse, le grand groupe de presse Réussir.
So en fait avoir, we're associated with the Réussir press group and associated with other press groups farm press groups that hopefully that allow it to put together all the ingredients to make it work. So what we've seen up until now, does anybody have any questions? Any questions? Ask your questions now. Anything that you've seen so far, just ask any questions. Anybody here present?
Est-ce que vous voulez bien lever la main, s'il vous plaît? Je sais qu'on va avoir aussi des questions éventuellement par le chat, s'il y en a.
Any questions on the live chat? Use your chat toggle. Happy so far? If not, we'll carry on.
Est-ce qu'en régie, on a des questions sur le chat ou pas? Je vais attendre. Oui, a priori.
We have one question.
Donc je vais juste attendre qu'elle. Il y en a une.
We have one question. Should
Elle
be
va
coming up.
arriver à l'écran. Pour l'instant, on l'a pas encore, mais on va la récupérer.
Questions
Merci déjà
coming.
de l'avoir posée.
So thank you for asking that question. So someone online has asked a question.
Ok, ça c'est en anglais.
Right. Bon. All right. It's in English. So I need to go into French.
C'est ça, c'est ça. Voilà, quelques instants. Hein. On est évidemment techniquement, il faut que ça passe dans les tuyaux et que ça arrive jusqu'à nous. Donc elle n'est pas affichée, mais je pense que ça va être le cas. Réfléchissez pendant ce temps dans la salle si vous avez un besoin. Oui.
Vous m'entendez?
Oui, très bien.
Du coup, je vais vous la poser
en
direct.
C'est bon, je viens de la voir à l'instant.
Merci.
Merci beaucoup, la régie. Alors, tous les ans, vous nous parlez d'une édition record.
So every year you talk about a record edition every year. So how do you welcome more and more exhibitors? So how are you able to accommodate all of this increase in number of exhibitors? Well, so we use, as you possibly know, the showground at the summit at Cornwall, and it's the regional council that is the owner of the showground, and they are very accommodating. You remember that last year we inaugurated a whole new exhibition hall, and this year. So we know as well the future. So we're looking to be able to increase the showstand space by another 20 or 30 hectares if need be. So again, more showground space is being made available. And there's also a third exhibition hall that is due to be built in due course. So, from the outset, it was initially thought that there was going to be 3 main exhibition halls. So far, there are only 2, so the third one should be built in due course. It will allow us to continue to grow.
Et puis après, il y a d'autres montagnes et massifs autour, on va savoir. Et on fera des sommets décalés. J'ai cru voir passer 2 autres questions. Est-ce que...
I think I saw 2 other questions.
Alors,
There's one here in the room.
Voilà. Merci à vous. Puis vous me direz en régie si les 2 autres, on les posera également. Bonjour.
Bonjour. Aléa SSD comme agence Kabar, le Kazakhstan évidemment.
This lady's from Kazakhstan.
Pour la direction du salon, peut-être pour notre ambassadrice aussi.
So a question for the organisers and for ambassador.
Et peut-être d'Asie centrale seront largement présents.
So does this mean that Kazakh farmers and farmers from Central Asia will be coming to the show?
Déjà peut-être, oui, effectivement, sur la dimension internationale.
Alors effectivement, la présence du Kazakhstan prend plusieurs formes.
The presence of Kazakhstan takes several shapes. It's obviously a stand of 60 square meters in the main entrance hall, where Kazakhstan will talk about its farming.
Donc ça, c'est pour la présence, on va dire, institutionnelle. Ensuite, il y aura une conférence.
There's also a conference
au Kazakhstan,
on livestock farming and agriculture in general.
Donc là aussi, où il y aura des interventions de la part du Kazakhstan et également de quelques entreprises françaises.
And a few French businesses that work already with firms that work with the Kazakhstan. That's on a Tuesday morning. There's also farm visits specifically organized for the Kazakhstan delegation.
On leur fera une journée spéciale spéciale Kazakhstan.
So we've got a special Kazakh
ensuite, on aura
day.
l'honneur, je crois,
And the honor, I think,
d'avoir la visite du ministre de l'Agriculture.
and I think we're going to have the Kazakh Minister of Agriculture who will be visiting,
soirée d'ouverture à la mairie de Clermont-Ferrand.
who will be with us as from the Monday evening, from the show opening,
Notre ministre de l'Agriculture.
and he will
la visite
be
officielle,
with our
le mardi.
farm minister on the
Et puis,
Tuesday.
on l'espère, là, les services des 2 ministères travaillent, donc il y aura.
And hopefully, well, we'll leave the 2 farm ministers to work together, and hopefully we'll be able to tie a few links together, a few business links. I just want to add something. Just want to come back on something, on the problem of the business affairs. So the Sommet de l'Élevage is, for us, it's also about connecting countries, connecting our country, obviously connecting with a country, another country. But as the ambassador, she said, it's also an economic forum, a business forum. It's also part of our strategy, global strategy for France and Kazakhstan to strengthen their links. I just want to add that in Kazakhstan, that obviously we're going to optimize this invitation. It's a very important invitation for us, and so for us, So as guest of honor, we will be represented officially with the Minister of Agriculture and also representatives of every sector of Kazakh farming.
Voilà. Mais je crois qu'on a encore quelques temps pour pouvoir vous donner donc le nombre ou.
So we'll be able to give you a few numbers fairly soon, of the number of people expected from our country.
Qui sert au jeu justement de lancement des préparatifs à ce grand rendez-vous.
Très bien, merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
Madame l'ambassadrice et Monsieur le Président, vous restez avec nous. Merci à nos intervenants. On va faire une rotation, si vous voulez bien.
So we're going to change a few speakers.
Rejoindre, voilà, laissez les micros sur la table.
Jacques Chesley and the ambassador, they're staying on the set. Other speakers are being replaced by others. We will now move
Je vous
on.
laisse vous installer.
So,
Je crois que vous pouvez venir nous rejoindre tout de suite. Absolument. Et il doit nous manquer aussi 2 autres personnes, non peut-être?
2 other people, but maybe we don't have
Bon, on va
the-
gérer au
well,
fur et à mesure, mais
we'll
sinon
go as we can.
je me lèverai de toute façon. Bonjour.
Right.
Alors,
So-
le sommet, vous le savez, bien sûr.
So
c'est
the
une
summit,
vitrine, hein,
as
pour
you know,
mettre à
is a
l'honneur
showcase
de
to
vos
highlight all of the various
la
breeds
qualité et la richesse de
and the
l'élevage
quality
français, hein,
and
qui est
the
évidemment incontestablement
the
reconnu
rich
dans le
diversity of French livestock farming. And to talk to us about that is Bruno Dufayet, who's a farmer and president of APRAMAC, it's the Association for the Promotion of Agriculture in the Massif Central.
d'être avec
So Bruno is with us.
Quelles sont pour cette édition donc les races
So-
en concours et la race à viande mise à l'honneur?
So this year, which
Bonjour à tous.
breeds were present?
Je l'ai dit tout à l'heure, mais je vais
As we said, it's already been said,
Le sommet
the
d'élevage,
summit,
un salon
it's
très
a-
axé sur la présence
it's
d'animaux et
obviously it's a show very much axed on the presence of livestock, ruminants primarily.
70 races, hein, réparties
70 breeds present at the show, cattle, sheep, goats, and also horses.
présentation. On a une quinzaine de races, je crois, de
I think there are 15 horse breeds present at the show.
Et cette année, on a, alors c'est la race emblématique du Massif central, on a la chance de
And this year, we're lucky to have the SOMMET National Championships.
des races à viande, donc c'est un plaisir. Alors, vous êtes
SOMMET obviously very present in the Massif Central.
éleveur de vaches salaires, donc
Myself, as a farmer of Salers cattle, obviously, I'm very pleased that the championships will be organized at the show.
justement ce concours européen de la
We also have the Simmental European Championships in the milk cattle ring.
de ce sommet de l'élevage.
Très bien, magnifique race effectivement qui est d'ailleurs sur l'affiche de cette année.
Voilà, c'est
So the breed are very, as you can see on the official poster this year, and you see on the screen too.
La filière viande bovine est très représentée au salon.
So the beef cattle sector is very much, very strongly represented. It's
Donc c'est effectivement
It's
important. Alors,
basically 50% of total animals.
Ben voilà, vous l'avez à l'écran avec
As you can
toujours,
see,
cette originalité.
but we're very original, and you can see on the screen
Présentation d'animaux au sein du
this presentation of cattle.
phénoménal aux présentations animales et qui permet de remettre en valeur justement tout le travail des
And it highlights the farmer's work
magnifique.
throughout the
de la salle, on passe des divers concerts de l'année au show des bovins et ça c'est aussi
and it really is a cattle show in the main concert hall.
Me lever, descendre de scène, c'est pas très grave. Je vais laisser ma
So I'm
ma
going to
place
leave
puisque nous avons foule sur cette
my
scène.
chair.
Il y a peut-être une personne qui restera également debout si c'est possible, puisque nous allons accueillir
So because
justement pour parler
we're now going
de
to
cette
talk to
race,
us
donc,
about the Salaire breed. It's now Juliet.
Canal,
Ah, non.
président du groupe Salaires Évolution.
Ah.
Et puis nous avons avec lui Juliette Roth qui est chargée de communication. Donc je vais
Je-
vous demander de nous rejoindre.
These 2 representatives of the Salaire breed.
Voilà. Est-ce que pour la régie c'est bon au niveau du son? Parce que si je me rapproche un peu trop des enceintes. On est ravis de vous accueillir.
So obviously we're delighted to welcome you here.
Avant de vous passer la parole, ce que j'aimerais effectivement que vous nous présentiez, c'est
Yes,
des choses essentielles.
So if you
que
could
vous
just
nous
show
partagez
us and
aujourd'hui.
talk to us
Je
about
pense que vous
the
voyez quand même l'écran.
main points about the Salaire breed. So Good morning. So I want to talk about the salaire breed. It's a very much a rustic breed by excellence.
Quelle est sa présence sur le territoire français et à l'étranger?
And where we find the salaire breed?
Qui fait d'elle une vache très rustique, ses aptitudes.
It's also a rustic cattle, a hardy cow. Where can we find her? Talk about her aptitudes, specific features. So what is an animal when it's said to be rustic or hardy? Well, it's an animal that can cover large areas in the search for food and has the capacity to adapt its behavior to its environment and the resources available.
Donc voilà un peu sa définition. Sur le territoire français, donc la race salaire, elle compte aujourd'hui
210,000 cows, Salaire cows in France. It's an animal that found its native to the Massif Central. It's also found in the east and the west of France too.
Cette vache qui a aujourd'hui 2 rameaux.
Interestingly, it was a breed that was originally bred as a dairy cow, but is now primarily a beef animal, but we still have the dairy branch, and it's possible when you come to the show that you will see Salaire dairy Salaire cows, milk cows. What are her specific features? It's an animal with a very good back end, very rectangular back end, so it's for easy, unsupervised calving. She's got good legs that allows her to walk large distances and to be well adapted to the mountainous environment.
Ses cornes en forme de lyre, c'est
her horns, lyre-shaped horns. These horns are appreciated by farmers in the east of Europe because it's a defense against predators. She also has plenty of depth in the chest, which allows her to do well off rough grazing. As you know, a depth of the chest means that a cow can ingest and do well off rough grazing. She has well-shaped teats, giving easy access for newborn calves to the cow's teats, giving the calf vigor and colostrum.
C'est une race tout d'abord qui est maternelle, donc elle a un
So it's an animal with plenty of maternal qualities. Her milk production allows her to rear her calf alone. She's very versatile due to her hardy nature. She is easy to rear, and she adapts well to all environments and all temperatures. And we find the Salaire over all 5 continents. It's a genuine breed, a breed firmly rooted in its local area of the Massif Central, where it's reared on a very much as a natural, simple farming basis. An animal that spends 365 days a year outside. So
donc c'est une race économe aussi.
She's an economic breed. It's a cow that can rear her calf until weaning, doesn't require any supplements, so easy calving, 99% easy calving, either as a purebred or also hybrid, and that means lower vet costs.
Cette race, elle a 99% de village facile, donc on est encore le number 1.
So she's fully self-sufficient, wide open pelvis, gives her exceptional easy calving qualities. And so, as we say in the slogan, sleep easy, rear Salaire. She's a hardy cow, very resistant to any illnesses or anything. Any problems, she's resistant and also can do well despite strong variations in temperature.
La mamelle se gerce très peu et ainsi même l'été, lorsqu'il y a des fortes chaleurs, elle arrive à résister.
And even in summer, she does well, even though it can be very in heat waves. She can do well, and that's why we find her in Portugal, in South America.
Très bien. Est-ce qu'il y a d'autres choses à rajouter?
Non, simplement dire que c'est vraiment une race du...
Just like to say that it's a breed with very much connected with her time, a breed with a future. There's a very strong farmer-cow relationship. It's a very docile animal.
Au niveau des jeunes, on a de plus en plus de jeunes exploitants qui aiment avoir du temps libre.
It's also an attractive breed for new entrants to farming. There's more free time for the farmers. Farmers don't want to be connected to their cattle 24 hours a day. They also want to have a bit of time for themselves. And as we said, it's a cow that is self-sufficient. She doesn't need much looking after. She calves on her own. So therefore, there's more free time for farmers. It's an animal with a low carbon footprint. It's also a local breed. And it's an animal that's not competing with other foodstuffs that are destined for human consumption, such as grain and others.
Cette race, donc, lors du 33e sommet, il y aura 384 animaux présentés, à peu près une centaine de vaches, donc on aura une vache.
Over 300 cattle will be present from over 100 farms.
Bon, comme j'ai toujours envie de le dire, quoi, avec cette race salaire, on peut tout faire.
As I've said, I want to say is, that you can do anything you want with a salaire, whether you want to have her outside all the time, you can. Whether you want her in a feedlot, whether you want her as a dairy cow because you want to make salaire cheese, you can. She does well wherever and however you manage her.
Si vous voulez des animaux très performants avec des bonnes capacités laitières, de bons potentiels de croissance, c'est possible aussi.
It's also if you want cattle with good growth rates, and if you want to do young bulls, you can.
Du jeune bovin, c'est possible.
If you want to do elder cattle, bullocks, you can too. It's an animal that adapts to every situation.
Peut-être un peu moins performant, mais avec une rusticité.
But also because she's a rustic cow, she does well off very large areas. As we said, she covers large areas because she's got good legs.
Très bien.
But
Alors,
anyway.
vous vivez aussi ailleurs, apparemment, j'ai vu un
So, sleep easy, rear salaires.
compléter ce que vous êtes en train de dire.
C'était juste pour rappeler qu'aujourd'hui, elle est présente sur les 5 continents.
As you said earlier, she's the Salaire breed we find over 5 continents, appreciated for her hardiness and all the attributes we've just spoken about. We perceive, obviously, we're connected to the Salaire breed, but we perceive it is the breed for the 21st century, a breed that suits all farmers and every method and type of production. And at the Sommet de L'Élevage, the breed will be represented by the breed society members, who we salute.
Ok, parfait.
Merci à vous.
Merci à vous. Je vais garder les micros avec moi. Merci beaucoup pour cette présentation. Alors,
thank you very much for that talk. So we've now spoken about the breed that will be highlighted this year. We're now going to talk about sustainable farming, and the Sommet wants to be, as you know, the world's #1 sustainable farming show. We've already talked about it. Also, it's not just a strapline for the Sommet de L'Élevage to be the world's #1 sustainable farming show. It's also part of our policy, our DNA. For us, it's what allows us to decide how we're going to progress. It's important for us to be able to base our show on this theme, a central theme through everything we do.
Elle génère aussi une vitalité à l'échelle des territoires. Donc ça, on l'avait déjà présenté, et ça fait partie effectivement de l'ADN même du sommet de l'élevage. Mais puis il y a aussi des nouveautés. Le sommet de l'élevage, dès cette année, devient partenaire d'un projet porté par le ministère de l'Agriculture et lancé.
This year, the Sommet de l'Élevage will be partnered with the Ministry of Agriculture.
Ça s'appelle Actif. En fait, c'est un programme qui rassemble
a program called Actif.
De la région Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes, les lycées agricoles à vocation.
All of the farm colleges, farm students, farm universities to help recruit new farmers and also to explain them what is sustainable farming.
se servir des fermes.
It's also to use farms as test farms for benchmarking, to test new sustainable farming practices.
On est partenaire de ce projet-là.
So we're a partner of this active program, and every year we will be presenting what we've done in the last year as far as this active program.
Mais d'une façon encore plus active, du coup, au sein du projet actif, donc ça a du sens. Et donc ça, c'est voilà, c'est une des nouveautés du sommet de l'élevage.
So what's the novelties of this year?
De ce projet-là. Et puis, deuxième initiative,
and the second as part of the team, the Sommet de l'Élevage organizers.
Les équipes ont aussi participé à la fresque du climat. Et
and also we're adapting to climate change.
On va s'engager dans la création d'une fresque une fresque de l'élevage ruminant durable. Et donc le sommet de l'élevage.
This year we're going to present a fresco of sustainable farming.
La vulgariser, la développer, la porter auprès de.
That we're looking to develop, looking to broadcast to others who are interested in long-term sustainable farming. And just to conclude, I'm then going to let Philippe talk about what is pastoralism, why is it important in the mountain ranges.
Donc on a une montée en puissance. Déjà
so last year we were present. We were able to talk about pastoralism. It's also not just a regional vocation. It's also a national vocation, and we're able to expand that to outside our frontiers and borders into the rest of Europe. And in 2026, the United Nations have decided on calling 2026 the year of pastoralism and pasture grazing. But I'm now going to let Philippe talk to us about pastoralism.
Eh bien justement, nous allons donc l'écouter, Philippe Kahn.
So Philippe Kahn, who is the Vice President of the Regional Pastoral Network.
Aujourd'hui, il y a un ensemble d'acteurs qui traitent de ce sujet, donc dites-nous un peu plus sur ce qu'est le pastoralisme.
Tell us what is pastoralism.
Avant de répondre à cette question, mais vous voyez la définition.
Before I reply, but you can actually see the definition. It encompasses all livestock farming activities that use extensive grazing on natural grassland and forage resources to provide all or part of the feed for their livestock.
De l'alimentation des animaux. En fait, le pastoralisme, ça remonte à la préhistoire. Il y avait du pastoralisme.
Pastoralism, we can find the first part of pastoralism was even prehistoric times, where farmers, where their livestock, their animals would be looking after them, with them present in the mountain pastures. Since when we now have cattle that will come down from the mountains for the winter months and go back into the summer pastures in the spring. So a few key figures here, whose key stats. We've got 5.4 million hectares, which represents 19% of total farmland here in France. And it's able to incorporate a rich diversity of natural environments, from mountain and summer pastures, Mediterranean coastlands and marshes. 60 represents 60,000 farms. That's 22% of French livestock herds or flocks. And from an economic point of view, that employs 250,000, offers 250,000 jobs. The numerous benefits for the rural zones, the quality products of milk, meat, cheese, wool, etc. Tourism as well, because obviously the livestock and the ranges will be grazing, and they're able to keep weeds down and maintain the countryside even at high altitude.
C'est pas possible. Alors, il commence à y avoir quelques
So upkeep of pastures, mountain pastures, you can't do everything with a tractor and a mower, you can't get everywhere. whereas livestock pretty much well can.
Pour les troupeaux, il y a la lutte contre les risques naturels,
there's also
avec le pastoralisme, on lutte contre
carbon fixing.
Dans les méditerranéennes, c'est la protection
in the mountains, it's also we're able to use livestock to help prevent avalanches. We're also in the Mediterranean basin. The fact that they're grazing rough ground, they're able to reduce the risk of fire. So we're able to offset natural hazards. And as I said, carbon fixing too.
Je précise aussi qu'on fait ça en partenariat. Donc c'est le réseau.
So there's a growing emphasis on pastoralism at the Sommet de l'Élevage, and this will carry on until 2026 and beyond. And as you mentioned before, the 2026 is the International Year of Pastoralism.
Bruno l'a rappelé aussi pour l'année 2026, année internationale du pastoralisme.
So 2026, it'll be an event with an international reach. We'll be building from this year, being an event with a natural reach, and growing that to next year as an European reach to in 2026 as an event with an international reach. We're looking to add the Sommet de l'Élevage to the FAO's International Year of Pastoralism.
Pastoral par excellence, avec la mise en valeur aussi de la salaire, qui est aussi une race.
And once again, the fact that this year we're highlighting the salaire with their national championships, it is a breed by excellence that is well adapted to pastoralism. It's also a breed that we've been selling livestock and semen to Kazakhstan, and obviously we're looking to improve and increase the connection that we have between our farmers, our livestock farmers, and those in your country, madam, in Kazakhstan. So, as we said, Kazakhstan will be a big stand in the main entrance hall, and also a conference to talk about pastoralism. On the 1st of October, there'll be a discussion, a conference, and also we're present in the main entrance hall. And there's also a mini conference on various themes on land spaces, farmland spaces, and preservation of pastoral land spaces, pastures.
Les risques sur le foncier, la nouvelle PAC aussi.
Also talking about the new Common Agricultural Policy, how is that affecting farmers on a pasture management system?
Mode de pastoralisme dans les territoires français, essentiellement de montagne et tout ça. Et dans la grande conférence, on va présenter aussi.
And in the main conference, we will be talk about various examples in the Massif Central, Southern Alps, and in the Pyrenees.
L'année prochaine, ce sera l'événement de portée européenne.
Next year, we will be at a sort of a European size, with a European reach. Again, stand in the main entrance hall, and we thank obviously the organisers to allow us to have this stand in the main entrance hall.
Le Kazakhstan et d'autres pays qu'on invitera également à ça, et le 2026,
and in 2026, as we said, that we're hoping that the Sommet will be integrated and it will become the major event for, as far as France is concerned anyway, as part of the FAO's International Year of Pastoralism and Grazing.
D'autres territoires, mais c'est essentiel que le Sommet d'élevage qui est la première vitrine.
So for us, it's essential that Sommet de l'Élevage, which is very much a show dedicated to livestock farming, for us it's important that we have a key place as part of the event. So do we have a few questions, a few chat toggles? Please feel free to ask your questions.
Fait face à de nombreux défis climatiques et environnementaux. Comment concrètement le sommet peut répondre?
How does the summit reply to the various challenges presented by climate change?
Déjà par Philippe vient de le dire, hein, sur la conférence au pastoralisme.
As Philip just said, in the conference, we'll be talking about pastoralism within a climate change environment.
Pastoraux avec une évolution et ce dérèglement climatique qui vient impacter. Donc c'est un des exemples.
So it's one of the examples, but there will be several other conferences on this subject.
D'une réflexion qui est menée à l'échelle du Massif central.
This is obviously important for us and for farmers, and what type of farm for tomorrow in the Massif Central and elsewhere within a climate change environment.
C'est déjà de faire la promotion des connaissances.
So what we're looking to do is promote our knowledge and being able to adapt that for locally and also nationally and even beyond sustainability within climate change.
De nouvelles réflexions qui sont menées sur ces aspects-là, aussi au niveau des bâtiments, l'adaptation.
And also talking about buildings, how can new buildings be adapted to climate change? Extremes between very cold weather and very hot weather.
Et la présence des différents acteurs.
Fabrice said earlier, presence of very diverse actors. So all of these challenges that we're facing tomorrow, the summit has to be able to reply to those challenges and give farmers ideas and projects that they can integrate into their own farming systems, practices to show farmers new practices that perhaps are being used elsewhere, different types of farming systems, and to extend that information, to spread that information, diffuse that information. Any other questions here in the room? No, quite happy on salaires and pastoralism, climate change challenges.
Très bien.
Okay, well, thank you.
Merci pour ces échanges.
Thank you very much for that.
Avec nous. On va bien sûr faire un zoom sur
we're now going to have a bit of
cette année, le Kazakhstan.
We're now going to talk about Kazakhstan.
Madame l'ambassadrice, mais juste avant,
we're going to
on va vous présenter en images les enjeux du secteur et puis la puissance de ce
video.
Dans ce pays.
I will now be switching to French. I'll be coming back to you.
Ne vous inquiétez pas, en sortie de film, je laisserai 3-4 secondes de silence qui permettront en fait à la traduction de terminer sur les images, parce que c'est en simultané. Le film est en anglais. Donc ne soyez pas surpris qu'il y ait un moment un peu solennel. C'est tout de suite en images. Merci la régie.
The agribusiness of Kazakhstan is a dynamically developing sector of the economy. The government is trying to minimize food imports and fully meet the domestic demand with domestic products. Therefore, the most promising directions today are production of meat and dairy products, processing of oilseeds and grain crops, cultivation of vegetables and fruits. For example, the country is one of the world's leading exporters of wheat. The products are renowned for their excellent quality and are always in demand on the global market. The production and processing of grain and oil seeds is the main and priority direction in crop production. Today, the country is one of the world leaders in wheat export. The products are renowned for their excellent quality and are always in demand on the global market. There is a high potential precisely in the deep processing of grain with the production of gluten, starch, and molasses. Kazakhstan is also the world's fourth largest exporter of flaxseed. One of the key drivers of the agribusiness is animal husbandry. Availability of pastures and fodder bays, favorable epizootiological situation, export markets, government support, stable local partners, all these conditions are attractive for investment in the industry. A number of measures of state support are envisaged to develop the industry and stimulate the inflow of investments. Welcome to Kazakhstan, the land of great opportunities.
Toutes ces conditions sont des raisons pour lesquelles l'industrie agroalimentaire kazakh est une proposition attractive pour investisseurs. Plusieurs mesures de soutien sont prévues par l'État afin de développer le secteur et stimuler les flux d'investissement. Bienvenue au Kazakhstan, le pays des grandes opportunités.
Merci beaucoup, David, en traduction simultanée. Madame l'ambassadrice, je vous propose de nous présenter en quelques slides ce magnifique...
So I'm now back on the English channel.
Je vous laisse la parole.
Merci beaucoup,
thank you.
Monsieur le Président, Mesdames et Messieurs, chers amis.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Merci de me donner l'opportunité
So thank you very much
de représenter mon pays
for this opportunity to present my country.
De son potentiel agricole, agroalimentaire. Avant de passer à mon exposé,
So before I talk about my country,
je voulais encore une fois
just once again to thank the Sommet de l'Élevage, President Chazelle, this invitation
nous est offerte pour mettre en valeur,
that allow us to highlight our country and our farming systems.
Lors de la prochaine édition du Sommet de l'Élevage. Et nous sommes très conscients que c'est un événement qui est le plus significatif dans le domaine de l'élevage en Europe et nous espérons qu'il nous offrira cette plateforme prestigieuse.
So we're very grateful to this prestigious platform for us to show off what we are capable of and what our potential is.
Et je tiens encore une fois à souligner que nous considérons cette invitation
for us, this invitation,
marque de reconnaissance,
it's a mark of recognition,
démonstration
a demonstration
du caractère stratégique
of a geopolitical orientation to develop the links between our two countries.
Comme vous le savez, depuis l'établissement de nos relations diplomatiques il y a plus de 30 ans,
As you know, from the establishment of our diplomatic relations more than 30 years ago, so we're looking to deepen our relations.
Dynamique et florissant dans tous les secteurs clés.
We're looking to develop all the key sectors, and I'm very proud to say
L'unique et le seul partenaire stratégique de la France dans la région de l'Asie centrale.
so we are the number one strategic partner, France's number one strategic partner in that area of Asia.
En uranium de la France et de
And we're one of the primary suppliers of uranium to France and also of carburant fuels, carbo fuels.
Et cette ambition, je le vois, elle est partagée à d'étendre cette coopération.
What we're looking to do is to increase this partnership and looking primarily into the agriculture and food industry, which for us it's important to grow. For us it's also be self-sufficiency and food sovereignty for our country. So France is one of the world's number one exporters, is known for its excellence as far as genetics are concerned, as far as semen,
Et je me
livestock.
réjouis de constater devant vous que le Kazakhstan
delighted to be able to say that we already have several projects in place and I'll just quote a few that we've already established.
De l'industrie agroalimentaire
française,
comme
as far as the
Lactalis, Danone ou Soufflet,
Lactalis, Soufflet, and other firms in the food industry are already looking to develop their business in Kazakhstan. Another example, Lactalis. Lactalis represents 50% of the milk market, dairy market in Kazakhstan.
De fameuses célèbres races françaises, bovines, ovines, caprines, telles que
and as well also other livestock breeds, Salers, Montbéliard, Aubrac. We've already been importing and goats.
M'excuse si je n'ai pas cité, mais en tout cas nous les
and the sheep breeds too have been imported into my country.
Et je crois justement le sommet de l'élevage, ce sera un rendez-vous pour nos éleveurs de deux pays de se rencontrer et discuter de futurs projets.
And so it's an opportunity for us to discuss and extend the future business deals between our two countries.
Qui sont déjà présentes sur le marché kazakhstanais. Là aussi, nous apprécions beaucoup, voilà, donc l'excellence française.
And once again, French excellence in terms of know-how.
Coopération entre nos deux pays est considérable et
we're looking to extend our cooperation between the two countries.
À cet égard, permettez-moi donc de passer à la présentation assez succincte.
So I'm going to be fairly brief in presenting my country. As you can see with slides.
Voilà, faire l'accent sur le fait que l'agriculture moderne et résiliente.
So modern agriculture needs to be strong, needs to be robust, and it represents about 5% of our GDP. And it's one of the priorities of our government to grow farming and the food industry in our country. So one of the main advantages and makes our country so attractive is the abundant natural resources of 220 million hectares and yet a very low population.
En effet, le Kazakhstan dispose de 2020 millions d'hectares de terres agricoles sur 2000,7 millions de kilomètres carrés de son territoire.
So 220 million hectares, of which 180 million hectares are pasture.
Cela place notre pays aussi parmi
which makes our country known as sixth rating in terms of farmland.
L'agriculture varie considérablement d'une région à l'autre.
So farming is diverse from one region to another. Farming is primarily in the northeast and the south of the country, whereas extensive farming is very much in the middle of the country, and mixed farming south and east of the country. So we want to be self-sufficient in our food supply and to develop our export capacity. So we have put in place a number of aids and subsidies to help farmers and companies in this policy. So with three main axes.
Qui sont la production animale.
So the main thing is the axes are production and sales,
du lait, de la viande et de la laine.
Beef,
deuxième axe, c'est la production
sheep,
de
milk and wool.
Donc, il s'agit de production évidemment de céréales et de blé, mais aussi
cereals also too, and oil seeds,
du sucre,
sugar,
la transformation des
and processing of
vecteur, c'est le
fruit and vegetables. We're also looking to develop infrastructure.
Concernant le premier axe, le modèle actuel de la production animale évidemment repose sur les traditions historiques très anciennes de l'élevage nomade.
So our system is very much based on the original traditional nomadic livestock rearing.
Ce qui fait que notre pays se trouve au 5e rang mondial après des pays comme la Chine, l'Australie, les États-Unis et le Brésil. Et cela nous permet.
As far as numbers are concerned, we're 5th rating
toutefois,
in the world ratings of nomadic pasture lands.
À l'intérieur du pays et nous comptons donc sur nos partenaires français et internationaux. La structure de la production animale est dominée par l'élevage de moutons, de bovins, l'élevage de chameaux est très répandu dans les zones.
Cattle and sheep rearing. We also have camels too.
Environ 30% de la viande de volaille consommée est importé de l'étranger.
But 30% of our poultry consumption is imported.
L'élevage de porc n'est pas très
whereas pork production is not very popular, but because there is a preference for cattle and for sheep.
En général, l'élevage représente environ 40% de la production agricole brute. Et
livestock represents 40% of the gross agricultural product.
Le cheptel connaît une hausse constante.
And our cow numbers and sheep numbers increase every year.
Le nombre de bovins a augmenté de 4,2%.
Our number of cows has increased by 4.2%, and sheep by 4.8%, and horse numbers by over 10%.
Et celui des volailles de 4%.
So our herd and flock numbers are increasing every year.
Des produits laitiers, le développement du potentiel de la sélection génétique en élevage.
Genetics is an important axe for us.
J'aimerais ici noter que le Kazakhstan
I would also like to say that Kazakhstan has put in place a number of grants and subsidies
Ainsi, dès l'année prochaine,
an infrastructure from a point of view of health and we have we're now foot and mouth free. We're also African swine fever free.
Contribuer à renforcer notre autonomie alimentaire.
And we're looking to increase, as you said, our self-sufficiency.
Le deuxième vecteur,
the second
dans le domaine de la production de cultures, notamment des céréales, le Kazakhstan est l'un des principaux producteurs.
So we're one of the primary producers and exporters of wheat and cereals.
Nous avons atteint une production qui dépasse 22 millions de tonnes.
In 2023, we able to 22.1 million tons, of which 16.4 were wheat.
La capacité de mon pays est fait de lui un acteur important des marchés internationaux des céréales. Parmi nos clients, nous avons beaucoup de pays qui représentent différentes régions du monde.
Different clients from across the world.
La Chine,
China,
les pays de l'Asie centrale,
Central Asia, Egypt.
Donc la liste est assez longue, mais tout cela démontre justement
all of that shows the capacity of our country to reply to demand for wheat wherever. Kazakhstan is also a major exporter of flour.
À plus de 33 millions de tonnes, ce qui dépasse de plus de 2 fois la consommation intérieure du pays.
And that we're able to export twice our own consumption
of flour.
L'exportation
de graines de tournesol sont prépondérantes.
Oil seeds,
le pays cultive également
sunflower.
du colza, du maïs,
We also grow rape,
du coton, de la betterave à sucre, du lin, du riz, de l'orge, de l'avoine, de la culture maraîchère et je pourrais continuer sur la liste.
Soya,
Le Kazakhstan
linseed.
mise aujourd'hui sur la production des produits agricoles, animaux et végétaux.
So our policy is to grow our own production from a livestock point of view and also from a crop point of view. Our main clients, customers are China, Middle East. Again, we're looking to develop our exports and also to France too, and to other European countries.
Je dois constater que pour l'instant, faute de certificats vétérinaires,
but because of the problem is that we're actually limited to exports from a point of view of the health certificates, sanitary certificates, veterinary certificates for the exports. But we're hoping that very soon that we will be able to, certainly for things like honey, we'll be able to export agricultural products to your country, such as horse meat and also caviar from the Caspian Sea. we're looking to have an agreement soon from the European, from Europe, to be allowed to export our countries, these products into Europe.
À peu près une centaine de produits kazakhstanais. Et nous sommes heureux que le public français et international a pu découvrir et apprécier ces produits de très haute qualité, donc qui respectent les
obviously, we're delighted to be able to say that our products are of exceptional quality that respect the norms in place, and we're looking to hopefully extend our negotiations with the European Commission to import more products into France and Europe. But we need the support from the French authority and also European authorities, from firms and from farmers.
Troisième axe, il s'agit donc du développement des équipements.
So looking to develop our installations and infrastructure.
Du secteur agricole et agroalimentaire. Donc, dans le cadre de ces travaux, aujourd'hui, nous avons une production locale des machines et équipements agricoles qui sont une croissance.
Which has grown.
Plusieurs projets de production des tracteurs, des moissonneuses.
We're looking, so harvesters, combine harvesters, tractors. We're looking to grow our manufacture of those farm machines.
La production sur place ou localisation permet d'éviter des droits de douane, de recevoir.
The fact that we're able to produce in our own country means that we're able to cut out customs.
Le renouvellement des machines au cours des dernières années a varié de 3 à peu près 5%.
So renewal of machinery, farm machinery is between 3 and 5% per year.
8% par an. Mesdames et messieurs, chers amis,
ladies and gentlemen,
nos objectifs,
our objectives,
du gouvernement du Kazakhstan pour les années
objectives of the Kazakhstan
visent à augmenter la productivité
is looking to increase our productivity. It's to increase our productivity by 2.5 times. Looking to increase our exports by further processing our products.
Le soutien aux fermiers et augmenter les subventions pour
by looking to support farmers and state support for processing with discounts of up to 70% on various taxes and the VAT, subsidies for farmers on fertilizers, seeds, water, the chemicals, harvesting, 25% on agricultural machines and 25% off storage space.
Pour le Kazakhstan, mais aussi pour les autres pays de l'Asie centrale. Et une situation qui devrait s'aggraver sous l'effet des changements climatiques, et c'est un fait regrettable. C'est pourquoi nous comptons que l'initiative conjointe prise
So we are counting on this initiative between Kazakhstan and France as far as the agreements, hopefully they'll be signed by the end of this year, will also cover the various climate change challenges as far as water is concerned, and will allow us to find solutions, sustainable and innovative solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kazakhstan is known for its strong undertaking towards the environment, welcoming these economic zones, special economic zones for development of industry and agriculture. We've also put in place a mechanism of public support that protects investors
avec des mesures d'incitation fiscale,
with tax measures
non fiscales et
and
des
non-tax measures,
sur le long terme,
long-term measures to help
une stabilité législative,
investors in our country for a long-term point of view. This is over at least 25 years,
partenaires étrangers, ainsi que la dynamique croissante
guaranteeing stability for 25 years.
Du secteur agricole offre des conditions très favorables.
So the agricultural sector offers a number of opportunities for us to tie relations between our two countries. And I hope, just like to add, that the Sommet de l'Élevage in October will also, for us, will be a platform for us to invite all of our foreign partners, both foreign and from elsewhere, to explore these opportunities with us and to chat with us, discuss with us what opportunities exist and how we can provide the infrastructure for you to invest in our country.
Finalement, va servir qui sera profitable à nos deux pays. Voilà, je terminerai ma présentation sur cela et j'aimerais dire que la suite sera et plus d'informations.
We are a business-friendly environment.
Vous allez les recevoir
we're looking to
lors du sommet
support farmers and grow our farming industry. And the rest is now basically linked and connected with and follows on from the Sommet de l'Élevage in October. And so please drop by, come and see us during the show. We look forward to seeing you. Once again, thank you for this honor, for this invitation. And once again, we are very proud and very honored to be your guest of honor this year.
À la hauteur de cette invitation. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
Merci, Madame l'ambassadrice. Merci à vous pour cette présentation complète. Vous évoquiez il y a quelques instants le machinisme agricole aussi dans votre pays. Et donc,
you did talk about farm machinery. So we have Laurent Dubuyer, who is the director of AXEMA. This is the French Farmer and Green Spaces Machinery Manufacturers Union. So representing farm machinery manufacturers, he's going to talk to us about the market in Europe. There's also, as we've said before, not just livestock, it's also the Sommet de l'Élevage is also an event for farm machinery. So 2024 will be a year of transition. So how can I reply whether this year is going to be a year of transition? Whether it's difficult to reply, whether we're going to be able to reply. So the figures actually came out only yesterday, so you'll have all of the figures available on our website, AXEMA, AXEMA.fr.
Dans l'Union européenne et la France est donc deuxième avec
France is the number 2 employer within the Europe of 27 with a job sector of 355,000.
Slide suivant, s'il vous plaît.
So next slide.
Donc on voit là le poids pour la partie agroéquipement.
So agricultural machinery. So we are the number 1 in Europe with 9.1 billion of turnover. And you can find, I'm sure, your country, all countries that would interest you, on this slide and their annual sales in farm machinery.
Les débouchés de la France.
So our exports, where do our exports go? Primarily to Germany, America, Asia, China, and also in Belgium, Poland, Italy. So the top 3, Germany, States and Belgium, as you can see on the right-hand graph. And as far as imports are concerned, again, once again, Germany, Italy, and then UK. So I'll just explain 2024 a little bit.
Voilà, donc là aussi on va passer grosso modo parce que les autres chiffres arrivent derrière. Donc les chiffres de l'agroéquipement, nous sommes
the key figures.
28 000 salariés.
8,5 milliards
So
d'euros.
the various by sector. So the agricultural machinery industry is 600 firms, 16.7 billion in turnover in 2022, employing 28,500 employees. Then you have the supply and the maintenance, repair of agriculture and open spaces, 2,700 distributors and dealers, 11 billion turnover, 35,000 employees, 1,500 independent mechanics and repair operators, 2 billion euros in turnover, employing 10,000 people. And other services, agricultural machinery co-ops and agricultural contractors, 11,300 machinery rings, and 21,000 agricultural forestry and agricultural contractors. Further stats, 600 firms as far as the manufacturers are concerned, 28,500 employees.
Beaucoup augmenté ces 4 dernières années avec le Covid, les crises de matières premières, d'énergie, qui ont fait que les constructeurs sont fortement contraints.
The last few years have been fairly difficult with COVID and various other things,
on avait l'impression
and the
que
economy.
les producteurs font beaucoup de chiffre d'affaires sur le dos de leurs clients. Il y a une situation très paradoxale. Les pays au niveau monde, vous avez un certain nombre d'entreprises qui ont une assise mondiale.
Various firms that
leur marché
so they're multinationals. They're not just here. So we have a lot who are their main production
pour différentes raisons, je ne les développerai pas.
Sites are here in France.
Pour nous, la dernière du marché européen sur les 27 pays. Nous sommes les derniers dans le ratio excédent brut d'exploitation sur chiffre d'affaires dans la partie agroéquipement. C'est assez détestable.
Which surprising because gives us not a very good figure as far as the gross operating profit is concerned. But still, this is the way it is.
À moins 15% et 2025 à moins 5%. Pourquoi? Parce qu'on est sur un cycle. Alors, il y a une correction
cycle,
even un cycle haussier de 7 ans consécutifs.
So we had 7 very good years. We're now on a cycle where things are now going to be
un croisement, c'est-à-dire que
more difficult.
C'était que le carnet de commandes avec des prix de matières relativement, des prix de machines relativement forts.
So last year was the end of that period, strong cycle, and but we've already seen at the start of 2022 that orders have gone down. We can't talk about a kind of global crisis because not all sectors of agricultural machinery are in a crisis, in a difficult situation. But we must say this, in the first few months of this year, we're down by 7% compared to last year.
Et dans les entreprises. Le poids des charges de mécanisation est à 25,7. Il n'a quasiment pas varié sur les 10 dernières années.
The cost of machinery on French farms is very stable.
Et quand on regarde les
cost of machinery as part of an overhead on a French farm, 25.7%.
Pour les exploitants. Le pétrole et le gaz se sont beaucoup raffermis. Deux autres chiffres, bon, il y a 35 000, mais ça c'est une moyenne tracteurs immatriculés.
Roughly 35,000, 36,000 of tractor registrations of tractors in France and 76,000 of farm vehicle registrations, both of those stats in 2023.
Et puis de l'autre côté, vous avez un secteur comme la viticulture qui est en très fort déclin.
And you have other sectors, for example, the wine sector is in decline, so unfortunately this has an impact on machinery sales into this sector.
Juste ici pour vous montrer et illustrer
les tendances historic and the trends, the forecast of 24-25 as far as sales. We went from 4.9 right up to 9 billion. In 2023, we're looking to come back down again. As you can see, that's going to scale right back down in 2024 and even more in 2025.
On va revenir à des niveaux qui sont connus depuis 2005-2015.
And we're going to be coming back to figures that we knew in 2020,
le volume n'a pas forcément augmenté.
2015 and 2014.
La population des exploitants agricoles baisse malheureusement et drastiquement depuis un certain nombre d'années. Donc il y a forcément un effet sur la mécanisation.
Fewer farmers,
l'accroissement de la productivité,
lower purchases
de l'ensemble des
of
méthodes
machinery,
d'élevage entre autres, mais pas que, et bien sûr en grande culture, fait qu'on passe moins d'heures à cultiver. Et il y a plus d'heures de mécanisation, donc c'est pas complètement anormal.
Less hours in the field.
À préciser aussi que les machines que l'on vend aujourd'hui
cultivation
sont pas
equipment.
les mêmes que celles qu'on vendait il y a 10 ans. Il y a beaucoup plus d'options dans l'agriculture de précision qui font que l'accroissement du prix n'est pas simpement lié au prix des matières, il est lié aussi à la
precision farming also has taken a big new technology and everything is also one of the reasons why
de répondre à vos questions éventuelles. Donc vous voyez que les évolutions de prix
we've had these
agricoles
last 7 years of growth.
ça reste des estimations. Pour 2024, prévu à la baisse, heureusement le prix des céréales est en train de remonter au
use of new technologies that have obviously increased the value and the price of the basic machinery.
Production agricole en volume.
So as far as production is concerned in volume, fairly similar.
Les deux dernières lignes, donc l'évolution des ventes en agroéquipement, moins 16%, moins 6%.
Minus 16 the last 2024, 2025 for agricultural equipment, and the bottom line,
voilà des indicateurs qui sont tout à fait tendanciels et globaux.
We're looking down 5% in 2025.
Au niveau du syndicat qui a une forte activité économique. Si vous regardez le rapport économique,
c'est un rapport que very big numbers fall over the next few years, next couple of years, apart from perhaps certain prices. Certainly volumes are going to be down. Do we have any questions as far as the farm machinery is concerned or Kazakhstan is concerned? We have a question in the room.
Thank you. I would prefer to speak in English, I think, rather than making some errors. Thank you. My name is Alamu. I'm from Ethiopian Embassy. Thank you for extending invitation to us. I think I just found it's very interesting presentation and I'm clear with a lot of things. So as I said, maybe it's for the first event, and I have two questions which I want to forward. The first question is maybe since it's the livestock show, foreigners, how they are gonna attend and how they can present their potential. That's one question, and the second question is the event which is gonna to take place in 2026, pastoralist is. I think I just found it interesting, and we have a lot of pastoralists. So since we are saying the event is going to accommodate professionals, so is there any way that we can look at it, those farmers?
Donc, effectivement, j'aimerais savoir un tout petit peu plus comment les exposants vont optimiser, les exposants étrangers vont optimiser le salon pour présenter leurs produits. Et on a parlé, deuxième question, c'était plutôt 2026, on a parlé de l'année de pastoralisme. J'aimerais également savoir comment ça va être orienté, optimisé pendant le sommet de 2026. Merci.
Très bien. Qui veut repréciser certains points?
Oui, juste pour compléter, je crois, tu as oublié David, c'est que monsieur est de l'ambassade d'Éthiopie, c'est ça? Donc c'est un grand pays d'élevage, et notamment pastoral. Donc d'où l'intérêt de la question, hein, l'Éthiopie. Alors juste, je profite du micro pour répondre à monsieur, tu traduiras David. Voilà. Donc oui, les visiteurs étrangers sont bien sûr les bienvenus, et africains en particulier, et notamment l'Éthiopie, puisque vous êtes le grand pays d'élevage en Afrique, puisque je crois que vous avez le plus grand cheptel d'Afrique. Donc pour cela, c'est très simple, hein, il suffit de... En tout cas, on a l'agence Business France, qui est ici d'ailleurs présente, que je remercie, qui nous aide dans la promotion du salon à l'étranger. Et notamment, donc, c'est le bureau Business France, donc, qui est rattaché à l'ambassade de France en Éthiopie, qui nous représente là-bas et qui fait la promotion du sommet de l'élevage auprès des acteurs éthiopiens de l'élevage. Mais je vous invite aussi de votre côté à mobiliser vos réseaux et à faire venir les professionnels éthiopiens au sommet.
On va faire traduire peut-être, David, sur cette première partie, si... On ne t'entend pas en fait, David. Je pense que ton micro n'est pas connecté. On on va demander à la régie de voir si on peut avoir un retour son. Pour l'instant, il n'y a pas de retour son. Ah, OK.
So please connect with them, join up with them, and from your point of view, please talk about our events to your farmers and to your organisers in your own country. Thank you.
OK, la suite peut-être.
Oui, ça marche.
Oui, ça marche.
Ouais. Sur la deuxième question, vous avez vu tout à l'heure dans la slide de présentation la montée en puissance pour 2026 ou 2026 dans l'espace dédié au pastoralisme, on présentera l'ensemble des pastoralismes au niveau mondial et bien entendu là on a 2 ans pour prendre contact avec vous mais aussi avec d'autres pour faire des zooms sur le pastoralisme à l'échelle internationale. On va essayer de coordonner cette présentation-là et avec une grande conférence et des mini-conférences comme pour cette année, avec des présentations aussi de pastoralisme type. Et j'ai cru comprendre que vous étiez le pastoralisme en force au niveau du continent africain. Donc bien entendu, vous serez conviés par les organisateurs du sommet de l'élevage et on aura l'occasion de se rencontrer pour mettre en valeur ce pastoralisme sur le stand dédié au pastoralisme. Et le hall d'accueil sera peut-être le lieu important du pastoralisme en 2026.
C'est possible.
On verra le président.
Juste traduction, merci. Très bien. C'est bon pour nous? Parfait. Oui, juste une précision peut-être.
Oui, je voudrais apporter une précision pour, par rapport, faire le lien aussi avec le développement du machinisme.
I would just like to talk a little bit about machinery as well.
Le sommet de l'élevage et la vitrine du pastoralisme, c'est effectivement l'objectif d'inscrire.
So the Sommet de l'Élevage as well is a highlight, showcase for pastoralism and pasture grazing. But obviously, even though pasture represents a large percentage of the farmland area found on our farms, but it's not exclusive. And also we have cropping areas.
Tout à l'heure, Bruno, sur les évolutions et les adaptations sur les bâtiments, la mécanisation.
And Bruno was also mentioned earlier, we're talking about adapting our buildings, our equipment, our machinery to climate change.
Merci.
Oui, peut-être on va traduire éventuellement. Oui, bah alors, non, mais ça va aller, mais OK. On a une question dans la salle, juste devant. Merci pour le micro.
Oui, bonjour, Nathalie Marchand pour le groupe Réussir.
So, Nathalie Marchand from the Réussir group of media. As far as machinery is concerned, so machinery is, considering the context, are there fewer exhibitors from machinery point of view? But we're, as Fabrice said earlier, we've increased that.
400 exposants sur le machinisme agricole.
It's about 400 exhibitors.
Un bon tiers. En surface,
so as far as net stand space, it has increased by 4,000 square meters.
De l'ordre de 8% des surfaces.
So it's about 8% increase in the surface area.
Donc malgré le contexte difficile, délicat, on voit que les exposants du machinisme quand même prennent le sommet comme un rendez-vous.
So we can see manufacturers use the summit as an important showcase for them.
C'est aussi un rendez-vous agréable. Je veux dire, j'ai été exposant dans une vie antérieure.
And I was an exhibitor before, and I came to SOMMET DE L'ÉLEVAGE, and for us it's a great event. It's not just a fun event, it's also an event that allows us to meet our clients.
Absolument charmant. Ils sont dans
and also a great welcome in the Auvergne, and the farmers. It's great to meet the farmers from here.
Vous voyez, c'est un message que j'avais essayé de vous faire passer. La meilleure chose, c'est le témoignage de gens.
So as I can say, as I tried to say earlier, the best thing is feedback from people who've actually been here as exhibitors. So a question on innovation.
Comment on valorise chaque année les innovations pendant
So how do we optimize innovation? We talk about the SOMMET d'Or competition. So really, with SOMMET d'Or is the way of optimizing and highlighting all of the various innovations in farm products and services. And it's all falls within a long-term plan of sustainability. And to be connected with sustainability and looking to the future. Innovation is completely compatible with our policy of looking to the future and looking to make the SOMMET DE L'ÉLEVAGE the world's #1 sustainable livestock show.
Oui. Pas oublier non plus qu'on a tout un village aussi de start-up. Hein.
We also have a start-up village from an innovation point of view.
25 peut-être, je sais plus. Donc qui présente
voilà. About 25 companies within the startup village.
Qui sont rendus visibles.
Tout à fait.
Avec
donc il y a le concours de l'innovation, ça c'est une chose, mais il y a aussi donc tout un village d'entreprises, un écosystème autour de ça.
A full ecosystem.
Très bien.
Oui. C'est aussi dire quand on parle, pardon, mais quand on parle d'innovation, on imagine tout de suite l'innovation technique.
Talk about innovation, technical innovation.
La petite application qui rend la vie.
Small applications that make life a lot easier for the farmer.
Quelque chose d'hyper important en fait. On le redit, on est dans on a un enjeu fort de renouvellement de génération d'éleveurs demain.
As we said, we face the strong challenge of replacing and bringing in new farmers, new entrants into farming. So using apps to make farmers' life simpler and easier. Just want to add, just a nature show is a place where we're looking to exhibit. It's not just a place where we're just talking about products and services. It's also a place where we can actually talk about even more stuff. And it's not just looking at items and articles and products and talking about services. It's also a place where exhibitors can actually discuss freely with the farmers. What do they want? What do they want? What are they looking for? What do they need to make their lives easier? So it's a two-way flow. It's not just from exhibitors presenting. It's also the farmer visitors and the clients who are coming and actually say, I need this, I need that. And during the 4 years of the show, we can see physically, you can actually see and understand what the innovations are and available are. But
tout le développement qu'on peut avoir au niveau du digital, c'est aussi au quotidien des
it's also with the digital platform we put in place, we can see too that it's also you can access it 365 days a year.
Cette conférence de presse,
so I'm just going to just the last few words, just a few logistics, but I'm just going to let Jacques Chazelet close this year's conference.
Merci à tous de votre présence.
So first of all, thank you very much. There's over 1,000 people connected at distance, so thank you for that. Obviously, we don't forget you, so thank you for signing in. So, as we said, sustainability, international business go often beyond and outside farming and livestock. We had a word from the Ambassador from Kazakhstan. First of all, thank you for being here today and for presenting, and also for excellent French, and for presenting her country to us this morning. It's not always easy, but thank you. Well done. So to thank our partners here at the show. We also talked about the Comptoir des éleveurs, the Farmers Forum. Réussir, also part of business partner for us in the organization of the show.
Saluer, bon, bien sûr, la technique.
And also technical
Et puis il y a
staff.
quand même aussi quelqu'un que je voudrais saluer, c'est Jean-Luc.
And also I'd like to thank Jean-Luc.
Il est président honoraire du SIA, mais vous avez
He's
parlé.
also president of the SIA. SIA is the Salon international l'agriculture, it's the farm show held in Paris every year.
Donc voilà pour montrer aussi que les salons ils peuvent se compléter.
And also shows can complement each other, and each one can give a leg up to the next one. And it's through the SIA that we were put in contact with the Kazakhstan. So despite the world of farming and primarily in livestock farming, even though it's perhaps the challenge facing us of bringing new entrants into the farming sector,
implique d'autres choses derrière, comme je l'ai dit tout à l'heure, mais cette pérennité-là nécessite
to sustain that, we have to be aware of what society is looking for, what its expectations are from us as farmers.
Nécessite aussi, et c'est ce qui se traduit au niveau du sommet de l'élevage,
and how that translates into future farmers.
Le nombre de jeunes qui s'intéressent,
the number of young farmers who are coming into farming and who are interesting in how they can actually plan their careers, their farming careers, and how they can look to invest and develop and to continue to produce quality food here in France and beyond. So first of all, thank you very much, and thank you for everything.
Merci effectivement à la technique, à David, au traducteur, à tous ceux qui sont connectés. Merci.
Thank you everyone connected and everyone.
Et pour ceux qui sont cette fois-ci en présentiel, je vous propose que nous retrouve dans quelques instants au restaurant Le Petit Varennes.
So, if you want, we can provide a meal laid on for you, just a few meters away from here. Obviously, people who are at distance, I'm afraid you won't be able to enjoy that, but you can imagine it would be a very good meal. So we will see you at any time between the 1st and the 4th of October at Clermont-Ferrand. Thank you very much, and have a great day, and we'll see you in October.